Run it back.
Ready?
Keep it light.
There's so many out there, you just don't know.
Which ones to watch and when to say no. That's why Ryan and
Andrew
watch so you don't have to. All right, welcome.
Hey everyone. It's episode 5 of
We Watch So You Don't Have To, starring
Ryan Webb
and Andrew Price. We watched a really, really bad movie tonight. And you know what? It's a little bit different than most nights. We're gonna really warn you against this movie. Like, this is like I wanna start from the very beginning and be like, don't watch this movie. Like, I don't know what you got from what you read online or what you've seen, but and again, some of the movies we watch have some redeeming qualities. This one has none, so don't watch it.
Yeah, I mean, this movie, unlike movies we've seen in prior episodes, I'm actually like, I have a problem with this movie, and I will go so far as to say that nobody should watch it. It is super offensive. Super offensive. But we're not just going to talk about all the things we didn't like about this movie. It had its moments, but why don't we start by painting the picture. Ryan, what is this movie about?
What is this movie about? Okay, it's called, and Andrew, remind me again the title?
Bad Johnson.
Bad Johnson. Okay. So Bad Johnson's a movie all about one guy who's on top of the world. He is a fitness instructor. Mm-hmm. What?
Yeah. Oh. I was just saying, yeah.
He's a fitness trainer. He is...
good looking.
He's a good-looking, athletic dude.
Yeah.
And he has his way with the ladies pretty consistently. And
no big deal.
He's kind of a terrible, unredeeming asshole in that regard. And so the whole first of the movie introduces you to this this character who you're just like, okay, well, you know, you're awful. And he's even like consulting with his friend about how he's like, yeah, but if you were me, you'd do this and that, and You know, it's like it's just like the whole thing has this like just shitty undertone. Anyway, sorry, I'm
his redheaded friend, right? Was saying that.
Boy,
we'll get to that later.
Yeah, we're gonna have to follow up on that. So, anyways, he makes a wish after, I don't know, what happens to make him make the wish?
I think he has like a hookup that went wrong somehow, and he was like, man, sometimes I wish my dick would just leave me. Or something. Didn't he say something like that?
Yeah, it's literally like that level of like thinking. It's like...
He's like laying in bed like, like...
Yeah, like, and I don't even believe... Yeah,
it's like a shooting star.
Yeah, totally. It's like, it's literally like that. It's like, sometimes I wish my penis would just leave me the heck alone.
It's kind of like that movie Angels in the Outfield when the kid is like, man, I wish the Angels would win the pennant.
Right.
And then he sees the shootings. Well, actually, it's completely different than that.
Well, yeah, except for the wish making. It's kind of spot on.
Yeah.
Does that kid's penis disappear too? I'm jumping ahead now.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt's penis stayed intact, I think, for that movie. The kid was like 10. Anyways, let's not go there.
Well, spoiler alert, in this movie, based on that wish, his penis disappears. He wakes up. He has no dick whatsoever. And he gets a call from a payphone. And it's his penis. And
yeah, let's back up.
This is a crossroads.
Yes, it is not just his penis. So it's a human. It's a guy. It's a hipster looking, hairy, bearded guy.
Which is the biggest bummer of this movie. We went
It
into
doesn't
this,
make sense. He calls and he's like, "Hey, I'm your penis."
we went into this movie thinking like, oh, what could this like conceptual idea turn out to be? And it's like, oh, it's just literally
I
like a
thought
direct
from, like-
personification.
Yeah, from like the cover of the movie, it shows a little guy popping out of his boxers, and I thought it was gonna be like a little guy, like
That would've been
"Hey, I'm your
hilarious
penis,"
the
you know?
whole time,
and it's
yeah.
just like this little human like personification of a penis like running around.
Nope.
It is not that at all.
Should we have is this the good time for our disclaimer about like the fact that we're gonna this whole episode, like it or not, like this is not, if you're just joining, like this is not the typical look, we're dealing with a movie here where the guy's penis disappears, so
It's
we're gonna have to say that a lot, we're gonna have to talk about it a lot.
Weird
We don't
topic to discuss.
we don't like
I don't
it.
like saying the word.
Yeah, this found us, you know what I mean? Like we didn't set out and we said,
Yeah.
"Oh, we're going to talk about bad movies." Like they found us, you know?
Yeah.
Like we have to talk about them. And all if one of you out there was going to see this movie, like you had a date and then you're going to come home and you're going to watch this movie, except you listen to this podcast and you're like, "Oh shit, these guys said not to listen to it." Then we've done our job. So that's the only reason. If you listen to the rest of this podcast and we have to mention penis and dick and all that stuff, that's the only reason, you know? Like, it's
I feel like we're serving a purpose, you know?
well, yeah, exactly.
And I feel good about that because I don't think anybody should see this.
No.
It's definitely not a date movie. It's not
It kind of is a D movie though.
wow.
Sorry.
And that's not where the puns end.
Yeah, but it does rub you the wrong way, you know?
Yeah. So what else happens to this guy? Let's try and tell us.
Oh,
in some
sorry.
sort of,
So
like,
yeah, the
chronological-
synopsis. Well, you know, so
So his I think we're at the part where his dick calls him from a payphone.
Sorry. Yeah, so basically, now at this point, his dick has disassociated himself from him, and this character, who we will now further refer to as Rich's dick, if that's okay. I don't know. Doug. Let's refer to him as Doug.
Let's call him Doug.
Okay, so now we got Rich, who's the main character, who has now lost his Doug.
What? Nice.
Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that.
Okay, so Doug is a total dickhead.
Was that pun intended?
Oh yeah,
No.
pun intended. He's horrible. So the whole rest of the movie is Doug making terrible trouble for Rich, and Rich being like, "Wow, this is like very reminiscent of the type of trouble you made for me all along." Blah blah blah. And the whole thing progresses, and it's like, you know,
Well, yeah, like at first, you know, Doug moves in with Rich, and then they're hanging out with Josh, their redheaded friend, and they're like three musketeers. They're having a good time, you know, and like they're
What are they
playing
doing?
video games together, and
smoking
then
a little pot,
smoking a little pot, and then it kind of gets to the point where,
which is kind of strange, by the way. With like,
yeah, it is weird because then you're like, wait, his dick. The whole time you're like, his dick is doing that stuff. It doesn't quite.
so his
add up.
dick is smoking
His
pot.
dick is like
with
overstaying
his
his welcome, and then his dick is like hanging out with the redheaded friend a lot, and then
You keep saying redhead.
sorry, we'll get into that later. His name's Josh, and then Doug is just like, hey, hang on, I gotta pee, and then you're like, wait, Doug has a penis? So
yeah.
Rich's penis has a penis. I know we wouldn't say that word, but I felt like it was appropriate for this particular.
There's no other way to describe it. It's
Point.
like, what? I don't get it.
And he looks nothing. It's not like Doug is this giant. You know, penis.
yeah.
He's just like a regular hipster looking guy.
Yeah.
What? How do you figure?
It's like the metaphor, like, it's a really
crappy,
frustrating.
loose metaphor. You know.
Yeah, and the other frustrating part is that it basically serves to make Rich completely like forgiving. You know what I mean? He's like, well, it's not my fault. That guy's the bad guy. It's like my penis was the bad guy doing all this stuff. It's like, no, you're a fucking asshole, dude.
Right.
Like, you were all along, and you will be when you finally get your powers back, which are, you know, your whatever. There's no way to
that's a
have
good point. Like who's like the protagonist? You don't know who to root for in this movie. You know?
Well, yeah, exactly. Well, you don't.
Who do you root for?
There's
it's
no
like,
one to
is
root
it
for.
Rich? Rich is such an asshole. Like, he's a womanizer. He hooks up with all these girls. His dick is a total dickhead. It's like, who's left?
Well, let's
the
find someone to root
maybe?
for.
The friend.
No.
But
I don't want to
the
root for
friend
him.
sucks.
Yeah, he sucks.
Because he is like a backhanded, like two-faced friend. You turn around and was like better friends with Doug than with Rich.
Yeah. Jamie Chung?
Jamie Chung is potentially root for her. She was, girlfriend with, she was the girlfriend of Rich when he got kneed in the groin, right? At the club.
Yep.
This
Which is interesting.
At the very beginning.
Yeah.
And he was diagnosed with, hey, your testicles are inside of your stomach, and you can't have sex for 6 weeks.
6 weeks. So don't have sex. We've been introduced to this womanizing, terrible jerk, and the doctor says, no sex for 6 weeks, and we're like, all right, this is the movie. Here we go.
But then Rich, the womanizer, well, actually, the first couple weeks with his girlfriend Jamie, they're having fun, right? They're
but the funny thing is that
they're wearing like onesies together. They're like eating popcorn on the couch, and it's like week 1 passes. They're doing
all that happens, but all that happens
3.
through like we see their relationship progress as we see like each week progress. So it's like week 1, they're like kind of like tickling and hanging out on the couch, and then it's like 3 seconds pass, like boom, week 2. And then boom, week 3, boom, week 4, boom, week 5, boom, week 6. It's like, okay, like I get it,
rapid fire.
Like yeah, like that's a fair like way to like say like, hey, like they're progressing in their relationship, but like, why did you hinge that to his like his condition? Like that was weird.
That was weird, and you also, I asked while
totally
I was watching
unrelated.
Yeah, I was just like, have they not hooked up at this point? Because they're so comfortable. Like, wouldn't she see that he has a penis that doesn't work?
No, wait. He hasn't lost his penis at this point.
Didn't he get kneed? No, he got
No, that
kneed
was those
no,
were separate.
Dude. No. Before that, he got kneed in the groin. The doctor said you have 6 weeks, and that's what started the countdown. Because he was waiting until 6 weeks until he could hook up again.
Correct, but he didn't actually lose. He didn't actually have his penis.
Exactly. We're on the same page there.
Yes.
We're on the same page. But
so why were both of those things happening in this movie?
But the
That's so
thing
crazy.
is like they're basically like moved in together, and you have to assume that they haven't hooked up yet because he wasn't able to use his.
What was the point of that though? I don't understand.
His little Doug.
But what's the point?
I don't know. I guess. I don't know. That was
what would be the point of that?
So week 6 arrives, and Rich is getting kind of excited, like, all right, finally I can, make love to Jamie, like this girl I've grown fond of, And he's driving, and then suddenly he crashes into like an Escalade. Whoops. And then this lady comes out, right? And she's like, you hit my car. And he was like, he's a womanizer. He was like, well, maybe we could just forget about this. And she was like, huh? What? He was like, I mean, maybe I'll get my insurance. And then she gets closer and closer. Anyways, she coerces him. They coerce each other to engage in sort of sexual encounter. And then he comes home to Jamie, and Jamie, is excited to see him.
I feel like this is sounding way better than the movie is. It's not good. Don't watch it. This sounds almost like romantic and like kind of like erotic. It's not really good.
Yeah, it is, and it's like
it's not, but it's not erotic.
It sounds like it. Yeah. So he comes home to Jamie, and then she right away senses like, "What? Where were you?" And he goes, "Oh, I got into a." What did he say? He was like, I got into an accident, but it won't happen again.
Right.
And she was like, what do you mean it won't happen again? She was like, are you cheating on me?
Well, no, she didn't say that. She was already trying to give him...
in his pants or whatever, and pulls out hair and like press-on nails and
Teeth marks
she sees on his little Doug. And she pieces it together that, he cheated on her, basically.
Right.
Kicks him out. Breaks up with him.
Yep.
That was a big part of the movie. But then she's done, right? That's...
Nah.
Oh, she reappears for
yeah, I don't think she's
the
done.
delivery scene.
Not sure what happens next. I mean,
It's interesting because we're following this guy's, like, trials and tribulations with, like, relationships. And then it was shortly after that he got detached from his...
That's true, yeah.
Right.
And then ensues the whole plot line of, like, his personification of his penis, who is wrecking
I guess
everything.
His next love interest is the redheaded girl at the gym that he's training, right?
Yep.
And that's what the rest of the movie is about.
Yeah, and that's it. So now you know.
This is a good podcast, everyone.
All right.
I'm just...
Anything specific within there that would make sense? I mean, this movie we kind of painted it. I don't want to mislead anyone. This wasn't some sort of coherent, romantic, like meaningful thing. Like it was none of those things I just mentioned, and also riddled with racism, sexism, misogyny. I mean, what else, right?
I don't know if... and we're not going to go too far down that path, but this movie is so racist. So racist. What? Can we just very quickly go through all the racist things? And then let's move on to the next, because it disturbs me.
Yeah. So, because racism is something you should breeze right past. Let's do it.
Not even true. Where
do you want to start? Or should we even do it?
Well, I will say the first racist thing that came up is when Rich shows his buddy Josh. He's like, "Hey man, I got to talk to you." And Josh is also a trainer with him at the fitness club, right?
Well, yeah, surprisingly
pulls
so.
Him into the locker room and pulls down his pants. He's like, "Look!" And his Doug got detached. And Josh goes, "Oh my God, that looks like an Asian man's armpit." What? And then it's kind of like funny. That's also like a weird visual, I guess. I don't know what an Asian man's armpit looks like. I imagine like anybody's armpit, really. But it was weird that he was like an Asian man's armpit.
Yeah.
Strange, right? But that's not the first instance of racism that we see in this movie.
Also, this is probably not suitable for the podcast, but I'm just realizing that at another point he says, like, I look like a Ken doll, because he's like completely devoid of any kind of genitalia. But it's like,
I didn't catch that part.
That's he said that.
That's interesting.
But it's like, wait, so it's not just his dick, it's actually his testicles as well.
Yeah, the whole thing.
Smooth. How are those weren't represented at all?
No, that's a good point.
Huh.
Yeah, it's weird.
Well, whatever. Let's keep going.
Doug was also his dick and balls, not just the dick.
Yeah. Well, what were the other racist things they said? I mean, there was that. I mean, what else? Shoot, these guys were the worst.
Oh, there was like a carjacking scene where it was like his dick, Doug, like opens this car door because he's homeless. He's like wandering the streets.
He has a hoodie on.
He's got a hoodie, and it's like this high schooler who's like
he gets in his passenger. He
gets in the passenger
rips
seat.
Open the passenger door and gets
the
in.
Girl, like this kid, like drops his date off or whatever. Opens the door, boom, wearing the hoodie, and he goes, "Relax, I'm a white."
Yeah, as he unveils his hoodie, it's like, that's not really comforting.
That's not.
You've still, like, you've broken into my car, dude. Like, on what world do you live?
I don't think he even gives a shit if he's white or like any other color. Like, you're in my car, dude. Get out of my car.
That guy's the worst. Can I give you some other lines that he says?
Sure.
He said, "Slumdog." He called someone Slumdog Elephant Princess.
Elephant Princess.
Do you remember that? The Indian girl. Jesus. The writers had somebody else say, as a, I don't even know how to explain the whole delivery scene. Oh. Do you want to take that?
Yeah, so Rich is trying to get Jamie back, who we talked about earlier. Goes up to her doorstep. Coincidentally, she's getting a delivery from a Chinese restaurant. And so there's, Chinese delivery boy, whatever. He's like, I've got your food. And meanwhile, there's this altercation. He's like, I'm trying to get you back, and you're with this other... He sees that there's another guy inside of the house, Mm-hmm. And so there's this kind of argument going on. And the delivery boy's like, hey, I got you extra soy sauce. And then Rich goes, oh, what does he say to him? He turns around and he goes...
Hey, watch it, Tokyo Drift. I'm trying to have a conversation.
Watch it, Tokyo Drift.
It's like, you just insulted an Asian American delivery person while you're talking to your Asian American girlfriend, asshole. What is she supposed to think?
How do you make an Asian slur in front of an Asian, love interest?
By the way,
how's that going to play out?
She takes that in stride, and it's kind of she should be like, yeah, this is and then he continues to insult him in other ways, I feel like, and it's that's a very big sign that this guy's not a good guy. It's this... Isn't this also
that was crappy because I feel like that was supposed to be some sort of comic relief, but I feel like the Asian people in that movie should have taken a stance and been like, hey, that's not cool. So knock on them.
Well, you turned that on them, huh?
Yeah, I did.
Well, not even that, but it's there's this whole air of we're supposed to feel bad for this guy at this point.
Yeah.
But we don't. Because he's
kind of a jerk. He's a jerk still at that point because he hasn't quite learned his lesson.
No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that at one point he's how he's yelling. He's like, how many people I can't? You know how many people I can't talk to because of you? Towards his penis, and it's look, the ability to disassociate yourself from that body part has now granted you the ability to be better than that, and it's who are we kidding? You are no better than that. Right. What the fuck is the meaning of this movie? You know what I mean? It's such a guy movie. You know what I mean? It's some guy director that's see, I couldn't help it. This is a whole different person in my pants. Yeah, there's an entire brain in my pants that's doing things that I don't want to do.
Yeah, it's very skewed, and it was weird how every girl that he encountered, despite him crashing into their car, harming them physically, whatever, they would just fall head over heels.
It was a guy's fantasy. It was it
really was a guy's fantasy. It was so distorted and so weird.
Let's talk about what we like.
Yeah, I know.
We've gotten too deep into.
But I think it was good that we talked about the dark stuff because it was such a focal point of the movie.
Yeah,
Now that we're past that,
let's get that out. Don't watch.
Just know that that's 90% of the movie.
Don't watch the movie. There's one scene you should watch, as there is always. We always find one scene you should definitely watch. We'll try and put it on the website, but do not watch this movie because it is very hateful.
Yeah, full of hate.
Speaking of hateful, remember the scene where they said, I will make your life suck harder than the WNBA?
The WNBA.
What?
Yeah, that was really shitty because that was just the first anti-women, I think.
They so
aggressive.
Yeah, the whole thing is. Anyways, I just want to throw that out there. So just know
that was on top of
that adds it. That adds it. Don't watch it.
There was also the busboy who was the animal. I don't know if we talked about that, but that was.
Oh yeah, something
the restaurant scene where where Doug hired the busboy to pants him in front of his girl to embarrass him because he knew he didn't have a dick. I just realized how insane this sounds.
I know.
Suddenly did it. Yeah.
Set up.
And then sure enough, he looks, like a Ken doll. And I forget who asked. Somebody asked Doug, why would a busboy do that? And then Doug just goes, busboys, they're animals.
No, he didn't say that. It wasn't that direct, but yeah, basically.
Yeah, I mean, without making a long-winded story.
They're
that's
terrible.
What it was, right?
Yeah.
It's terrible. terrible.
Can I talk about a couple things that aren't just like the
So full of hate.
they're not full of hate, but they still are like things where I'm like, are you kidding me?
Sure.
At one point, what's Doug's friend, or not Doug?
Josh.
Rich's friend, Josh.
Yeah.
Okay, so Josh is convincing Rich that he's like losing your Doug
Yep.
is a good thing because now you have time for all this stuff that you would never have. It's basically like things just got like way less complicated for you. And he's like giving him a speech about how like things are gonna be so much better now that you don't have a penis and you won't have to worry about this and that and this and that and this and that. And he goes as far to say like you can write the great American novel. And it's like,
yeah, I remember that.
That was so infuriating. It's like this stupid like fitness instructor like meathead like bang everybody he sees is suddenly going to like have no like what are we attributing to the actual like you know what I mean?
I don't really know like what the director was like. I don't really know what the moral of the story, I guess, was, or the whole point of all this.
Right.
Do you have any idea?
Well, no, it blurred the lines for me of like, is him losing his penis like a purely sexual thing, or is it like he becomes a genius when he loses his penis? Because he couldn't write a fucking sentence before that, but now all of a sudden he's going to be the great American writer without it. Like, is it like is your penis purely a distraction that like without distractions you would you be able to achieve so much more by like without
Do you think
that?
That's what the director was going for,
Dude, okay, director's name is
Huck
Butko.
Huck Butko. That's
Huck
a silly name. That's
Butko.
like that's like Dick Butkus kind of.
He probably goes under an assumed name given all the hate he spews out during every movie he makes.
Yeah.
Anyways, I have no respect for Huck Butko, and I'll tell him that. because
I don't think anybody does.
Because of the hateful movie he made, and you know what? Huck is his first name Huck?
Yeah, Huck, like Huck Finn.
It sucks because that's such a cool first name.
Yeah. It sucks for Huck.
Yeah, sucks to be you, Huck. He also ripped on Bud Ice during the whole movie. Remember that?
Yeah, that was weird. Rich went on a date with the girl that he was training at the gym, and they go to a bar, and then they're kind of like joking around, whatever, being sarcastic, and she says, "Hey, see that guy at the bar?" And he was like, "Oh yeah, let me make it look like I'm looking, but not really looking," or something like that. And then sees this guy at the bar, holding this drink. And she was like, before that he was having some sort of cocktail. But now he's... Microbrew, yes. But now he's drinking a Bud Ice. And then she went on this, like, weird this analogy about how she's considers herself a microbrew, but how guys sometimes go for the cheap stuff. It was like drawing a comparison between, like she's a craft cocktail, but like I don't know, guys like don't. I don't actually know what she was.
I mean, you always
want
to. Yeah, I mean,
it was so weird. It's like, wait, what? There's a lot of role playing going on. There's guys running around, hipster guys like saying, "Hey, I'm a penis," and then she's saying, "Hey, I'm a microbrew." Like I don't know who.
Yeah, it's like, be specific. Tell me what I'm supposed to feel. You're a movie.
But you're also, as a viewer, trying to understand who is who because you understand there's all metaphors. But then she's saying a metaphor on top of a metaphor. It's like so meta, if you will.
Sure. I mean, dude, they do a lot of confusing things. At one point, the dunce sort of like meathead character who is the lead says like he's like training the girl and he's like, "Oh yeah, well I can be very duplicitous." It's like, you don't know that word.
Right.
Like, I don't believe your character knows that word at all. You know what I mean? Remember when he threw that out? It's like, what? Like, that's so outside of your character. Or when they're like, oh yeah, like, remember the, they like dropped like raison d'etre in some like.
Oh yeah.
Like.
That was Doug saying that.
Yeah, like in the middle of some other sentence, it's like
she was so like just greasy and like terrible.
Yeah, you guys are a bunch of like shithead bros. Like, what are you dropping these lines for? Like, no one buys it. Like, you can't do that 1 out of every 1,000 words and then like have the audience feel something.
It was so weird. It was so weird.
Can I say one? We've been ripping on it for a long time. Can I say one thing that I liked? I didn't really like it, but it's funny.
We didn't talk about. Well, let's go ahead. Yeah.
When Rich is kicking his Doug out of the apartment because he's run up.
That's what I was gonna say, and it was like, "Can you give me a suitcase?"
Yes,
and he goes, "No,
yes,
there's garbage bags downstairs."
I was
actually just gonna say.
No, he said, okay, well, I'm out of here. So, he's like, pack your stuff, and he's like, well, all my stuff's right here, and he's like, all right, well, what now? He's like, well, there's garbage bags downstairs under the sink. He's like, you're not even gonna give me a luggage bag? It's like, at what point would you be so bold to be getting kicked out of someone's house that you're like, you're not even gonna give me a luggage bag?
But you could only get away with that if you were
someone's
penis.
Own penis. Yeah, that's true.
Which,
yeah, fair enough.
Yeah,
maybe this movie's way deeper than
weird.
I thought it was.
It's really
supposed to be.
not deep. It's so ridiculous.
It's not deep, but it's
just the tip of it.
We'll edit that part out. We'll edit that part out.
Was sorry.
We said we wouldn't get into any kind of
yeah.
Keep it professional. The tree kick is what we were gonna.
Oh man, yeah. Why don't you describe this scene? Because it's, you know what? I'll describe it. So Rich is just going on a run, and Doug is just kind of wandering the streets. He kicked Doug out, so Doug is getting angry, right? And Doug is now setting out to ruin Rich's life. So he calls him up, and he arranges this dinner with Rich's girlfriend, right? And he calls Rich, and he's like, hey, you're going to be at this restaurant at 8:30 tomorrow night, and if you don't show up, your life is going to be worse than the WNBA or whatever. Isn't that what he said?
Yeah, we said it earlier.
Like I know. But that was
worse
that
than the NBA.
That was that particular scene. And then so Rich is, going on this run. He hangs up. He's like, "Urgh!" And he looks around. Something hit. He sees this tree, and he kicks it one time. Urgh!
No, he runs. He
runs up to it, kicks it hard.
Right leg.
And then you could tell it kind of hurt him, I think, like the actor.
In real life.
I think it actually hurt him when he did that scene. So he kind of backpedals a little bit. And then came around with his left leg, but so much weaker because he sustained so much damage from the initial kick. And it just looks so silly.
It looks so silly.
Because he put nothing into it. It was like a little point and like, meh.
We're going to try and post this.
It's something you truly have to see.
It's the one thing you need to see, but
we watched it probably 20 times.
But it's hilarious, but don't watch anything else.
Easily my favorite part of the movie, bar none.
So if we've done just that, if we've watched an hour and 40-minute movie and found the 1.5 minutes that are worth watching 20 times, I feel good.
I feel good.
All right. Well, there it is.
Any other part of this.
So,
but, that was...
as it is, we watch...
That was it, and there were a bunch of redheads in the movie. We don't have to talk about that.
Tough to describe that, but yeah, sort of an odd amount of redhead. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but we definitely noticed a very
copious amounts of redheads in this
copious amounts of redheads,
which you just don't see. But that's okay.
You just don't see. So if anyone knows what's going on there or understands any kind of connections to like people that are doing the movie or sort of conspiracy theories, we'd love to hear them. Dial in right now.
One scene had 3 redheads. Never been done in
3 out of 4 people in the scene were redheads.
75%. Never been done.
So yeah, if you guys have, we'll take all the calls of anyone who knows like actual facts about like what's going on there and why there were so many redheads like in one scene. But otherwise, we'll just chalk it up to like that just happened,
Yeah.
Okay. That's it.
And the movie ends.
Yeah, we don't need to worry about the end of the movie. We never have.
Yeah.
Well, let's cue to our outro song, which is probably at this point same as our intro song, I would assume. Are we doing that, or do we need a separate?
Dun, 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 dun.
Shout out to episode 2.
As a plug. We
Yeah.
said we'd do that.
Yeah,
Future
yeah. Every now and
episodes.
then. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening, everyone. This has been episode 5. A strange movie, I would say. You know, Bad
Yeah.
Johnson.
Yeah.
It's,
Not like the
unusual.
others. Very unknown. We're gonna watch unless something changes, and sorry for lying to you right now if we just did, but our plan next time is to watch the movie Gooby,
Ooh.
which is a Canadian film. Canadian films near and dear to our heart because we're both Canadian.
Totally, eh?
So yeah, none of that's true. Except for everything before that, we're both Canadian. But
Yeah.
yeah. Anyways, we'll see. So anyways, let's sign out. And I'm Andrew Webb, and
I'm Ryan Price.
and we'll talk to you next time. All right, see you guys.
Bye.